Hi, I'm Chadis Leo, host of Our Native Land, and we've gone on the road to the west coast of Vancouver Island in beautiful Tofino, British Columbia, but more specifically on the traditional lands of the Tloquet First Nation. With over 1,200 members, this nation has a rich history, a beautiful art scene, and a lot going on for it in regards to its economy. We're going to learn all about it. And we're first going to start off by finding Saya, who is a member of the Tloquet First Nation and a tribal parks land guardian. Let's go find him, and we'll see you right after the break. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us here. As promised, we found Saya Masu, who is a member from the Tloquet First Nation, a very important knowledge keeper, and has a lot to share about the Tloquet First Nation, traditional land that we're on right now in front of the Tinwis Best Western Resort, and we're going to learn all about it and much more. Saya, thank you so much for joining me here on the beach.
Thank you, Chadis. It's great to see you. Great to be here. Welcome.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, Saya, I love letting people introduce themselves in full a little bit more. Please tell me who you are and your role with the nation here.
Sure, thank you. Well, my name's Saya Masu. I'm the Lands and Resource Director for Tloquet First Nation. We manage our tribal park program and our fisheries program, trying to restore our rivers and manage the impacts in our territory. You're on a really historic place, Tinwis. The beach, as you can see, the water is calm. It means calm waters. It's just a sheltered beach, really easy to land canoes on. And out front you see islands where we would actually bring whales and we would cut them up into smaller pieces and then we'd bring them ashore here. It's a really historic place. I'm really happy to share history with you. If I'd have the time and space, I'd love to share some with you.
Yes, please share some of that history. I'd love to learn more about it. We can even go right to before contact and try and see if we can work our way up to the present day.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah, you know, like 400 years ago, Tloquet was known as the Cedar Salmon people. A 10,000 population, all of our clothing, tools, our mode of transport, and our housing was all made of red cedar. But yet with the laws of our chiefs alive, the mountains were still covered in trees. You would not know we were harvesting that much cedar from our homeland because of our laws of respect, ESOC, respect for the land. These laws led to a system of abundance where you would harvest from the homeland, and in the winter the chiefs didn't have an obligation to potlatch and give the resources back out to the people and feed people in the winter.
So yeah, so summer was the hard work, winter was the potlatch.
Exactly. Yeah. And so to begin a potlatch, the chiefs would share the crests of the longhouse with the people and explain their connection to the land and which rivers and where they own them. And this led to a really successful and thriving society where everyone was cared for. And then we're also one of the very few whaling societies in the world. There's not many. There's a lot of terrestrial components in Europe and all of North America, everyone living on the hunting and gathering. There's not very many that were whalers, and I'm honored that our ancestors did it. And it was a lot to ask, to be 3-4 days out in the water and to harvest a whale to feed your people. It takes a lot, and we're grateful for a new relationship we have with whales that we can benefit from tourism. Yet, you know, I have respect for our ancestors that someone would have to dive in the water and sew the lips closed of the whale so they could tow the whale home without it filling with. And so in this era, chiefs don't get their greatness by naming mountains after themselves or building monuments. They get their greatness by potlatching, by feeding their people. The more you can give away, the greater your chieftainship is. So when one whale can do that, whalers become very high-ranked people. So I would take, because that's just a snapshot of our people and pre-contact of who and what we were as Tloquet people. Our canoes were really sought after on the West Coast. Really good red cedar here from our ancient old-growth forest. And so you go forward 100 years to 1778 when Captain Cook is landing on the coast. And it was written in the Spanish journals that they were coming to fix their broken sail mast and they needed to trade with the indigenous people. And it was written that you can't ask for a blade of grass without the indigenous people wanting to trade for it. And this is about our chiefs wanting to participate in the economies of our homeland to feed our people.
I don't think people realize that indigenous communities here along the coast dealt with colonialism and wars not only against Canada, but the America. I don't think a lot of people know that.
No, I know.
I didn't.
It's a rich history. It's not told.
Wow.
And nowhere in this history will you hear that we ceded our land. In fact, to get certainty to land, Canada abandoned treaty making in 1854. They signed 6 Sir Douglas treaties in 1854. And so no time did a treaty agent come here to sign a treaty with our chiefs who had fought the Americans and had sovereign trade with these different countries. And so Canada switched its tactics to get certainty to land by banning the potlatch. They made it illegal for us to gather food and feed our people. They wanted us in the bread lineup, so to speak. And then 10 years later, they applied another tactic to break our children's connection to land, to stop our children from learning where the clam gardens are, to stop them from learning how to follow the salmon around our homeland. Well, that didn't work either. And that residential school system lasted till 1984. So we're the first generation to not go to that school. And that brings the broken people out of the school system. You don't come out of residential school ready for business and academia. It was the opposite. Your post-traumatic syndrome is very tough. And we're the first generation to not go to that school. So when you see Indigenous people around struggling, allow some grace. But we're still surviving. It's not a tale of victim, it's a survivorship. Where our children are still learning where the clam gardens are. Yeah. They're learning how to follow the sound around. Our language is being taught on Zoom lessons.
Any way possible, right?
Yeah, and even the potlatch system, banning the potlatch didn't work. We took the crests of the longhouse and we put them on curtains. And then if the Indian agent or the RCMP were coming up the village, we could fold up the curtain and pretend like we're not potlatching,
yeah,
you know?
tricking them.
Yeah, tricking them. So the banning of the potlatch didn't work. So these tactics to get certainty to land by Canada did not work. And yet here we are with unceded land again, and still 2024. In 1984, it wasn't until 1960 that Indigenous people were allowed to hire a lawyer in Canada. The first thing that we did with that was in 1984, we took Canada to court to stop logging on Mears Island. And it was not a question of how to log or when to log or where and how much to take. It was a question of who has the right to issue a tree farm permit. And we spent 5 years and a lot of money. We actually don't have a longhouse at home or a gymnasium for basketball because we invested in trying to protect the drinking water that feeds this tourism economy today. And so we won our Aboriginal title court case in Canada. Supreme Court of Canada acknowledges Mears Island Tribal Park. And it was our articulation of how to share Aboriginal title land. It's a tribal park. It protects all of these things in drinking water and medicinal plants and flora and fauna. And we sought to negotiate that into Canada for 20 plus years. And without succeeding at a treaty agreement, we continue here today, unceded land, and we have a human right to, as I said, for 10,000 years, our chiefs have been benefiting from potlatching and harvesting what goes on in our homeland to feed our people. And what we're asking for now with our tribal park program is that people respect the tribal parks when they visit them, to acknowledge them, and to leave something behind for the grandchildren while they're here. Please visit a tribal park ally business so that you will contribute to the Indigenous people whose backyard you're in, and to acknowledge that we strive to have a longhouse of our own, an athletic hall, and some amenities for our own people, while rising tides should float all boats. And it's been this way for 10,000 years, and it's only in the last little bit that we just got some work to do to fix it and to lift everybody up.
Well, we're going to talk more about that work, Sai. I really appreciate you've shared so much knowledge in such a small amount of time. I wish we had all of the time to do this, but we're going to just take a quick break. We'll be right back. We're going to talk more with Saya and about his role with tribal parks. We are at the Tinwis Best Western Resort here in beautiful Tofino, British Columbia, more specifically on the traditional territories of the Tloquet First Nation. Hi, I'm Chad Aslea, host of Our Native Land. Thank you for joining us on this special series where we're really going to focus on the Tloquet history, culture, heritage, arts, and in this episode, tourism and the land that this resort sits on. It is significant because a residential school used to reside on this property behind me here. We're going to be talking to Maria. She's a member of the Tloquet First Nation and the assistant general manager of this property, and she's going to teach us all about it after the break. We'll see you soon. Hey, Maria. How you
Hello.
doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for having us here. It's such a beautiful property, but I want to get to know you. You've been so helpful getting us out here, and I just want to know what your role is here at the Tinwest Best Western Resort.
I am the Assistant General Manager, and I sit on the Board of Directors for Indigenous Tourism BC.
So you're definitely involved heavily with tourism, not only in Tofino, but across the province.
Exactly.
Wow,
Yeah.
so you got a lot on your plate. Tell me a bit about your story, how you started here at the Tinwest. Like, how long have you been working here, and sort of your career path that's kind of lent you to this management position?
Well, I started this term 14 years ago. I came in and I began at the front desk, and then I worked through, I guess, service agent, night auditor, and then I became the housekeeping manager. I was there for several years before I became the guest service manager, at which point, that was about a 6-year term. And then I became the interim general manager for some time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I left and managed Waya Point Resort in Ucluelet, and Tinwest invited me back and gave me kind of an offer I couldn't refuse.
Wow,
So,
look at that. And it must be really nice and rewarding for yourself as a Taloquyat member to be working, on a Taloquyat property and company, I can only imagine.
absolutely. I'm really hold Tinwest in a special place in my heart. So I've given a lot of time to the resort and hope watching its success.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's talk a bit about the resort. Obviously, it is a Best Western resort, but primarily it sits on traditional Taloquyat territory. Meaning I feel like some people like yourself have this connection to this place. What's sort of the percentage of people that work here are members of the nation?
Well, specifically, Taloquyat is a smaller number, but we typically have about between 50 and 65% New Chawnath community members. So that's like to Taloquyat and surrounding communities such as Heshquit or Howsett, even Ucluelet First Nations.
Mm-hmm. I noticed right away when we walked into the lobby, there's a lot of artwork, that's on the walls everywhere, even in the Brown Social House and the restaurant. Can we talk a bit about some of that artwork and the importance of having that up front and center when people walk right into this building?
Yeah, we do. We have, they're all New Chawnath artists. We showcase Joe David, who is Taloquyat, and a very world-renowned artist. Patrick Amos is Taloquyat and Howsett, I believe. Quia Sam. A lot of these artists were generous enough to donate art to us when we opened, just to showcase. And then we were showcasing art as well for sale, but now most of it just lives here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sure. And generally with people that come in, especially a lot of tourists from all over the world come to Tofino, what's been the general reception from a lot of those guests that maybe have not been introduced to any Indigenous culture in Canada ever? I mean, this might be their first encounter when they come through these doors. Have you heard a lot of sort of tourism reaction and people talking about this place?
Yes, we're generally very well received, and I know that coming further away, if people who are coming further away are coming here specifically for an Indigenous experience, so they're happy and excited to see when you come to the resort. You obviously see it firsthand, but
that sounds exciting. And you're also telling me there's something in the conference center that you think we should maybe look at.
Yeah, it's actually one of our hereditary chief's curtains, and it's painted up on some panels inside the conference center. It's a statement piece.
We should go take a look.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'll follow you. Show me what
Okay.
it is. Awesome. Now, Maria, I forgot to ask you, you have an Indigenous name too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
What is it?
Hiawatha.
Hiawatha.
Yes.
And what does it mean?
Well, it's a girl's name.
Yeah.
It's a cheeky name given to me by my grandfather that basically means I have a few wrapped around my fingers. I'm always right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That is
just like
cheeky,
a little.
isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. So my grandfather, I was babied by him, and he used to take me everywhere.
Oh, wow.
He couldn't say no to me.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
amazing. Well, thanks for sharing that. And thanks for sharing a bit of the space here. This is beautiful. Let's talk about this conference room and some of the events and things that go inside of here. It has like this nice longhouse feel.
Yeah, so it absolutely does. We host potlatches, a lot of conferences, business retreats, weddings, funerals as well. The community uses it for all sorts of events. And then more recently, we've been doing a lot of conferences related to truth and reconciliation. Yeah.
It feels like it's the appropriate space for it, just because of the design and a lot of the work that has gone in to make it have that longhouse feel. Now, I mean, we're just about to walk up to this beautiful piece of artwork here. Now, it's called a curtain, but it's on some panels. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so basically it's the story for one of the chiefs, the hereditary chiefs here in Cloquet, and they would be used at potlatches to represent that chief's house and history. So yeah, it was kind enough to let us use it here in the conference center.
It's really nice.
Yeah, it's definitely.
And how old is this? Like, when was this produced? Because it's would be a replica of something that was done in the past.
Yeah, so from time to time, chiefs add more or take probably add more to the entire picture, but it just represents his family and his history. It'll go back time memorial, like
Generations.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, definitely.
Now, there is a connection to the actual name Tinwis, which I'm sure some people that are watching and listening really just want to know what Tinwis means and the name behind that and how it actually relates to this whale harpoon behind us. Can you give me a bit of that background?
Yeah, so Tinwis means calm water in Nuu-Choneth, and Tinwis was formerly a village site for our people in the summertime. And it's being calm waters meant that our people could harvest whales and bring them into the harbor and then lie them on the beach, and our community would harvest them and preserve that whale meat for the winter season.
Of course, yeah. Now, this harpoon behind us, like I said, it's massive. And I'm sure not just one person holds this thing and catches the whale. Can you kind of maybe explain the roles and how many people it would take to, operate this, this operation to go and get a whale?
Yeah, so it would be probably anywhere between 9 and 11 people on a canoe, and each person would have their role. We have Elmer Frank, who holds the title as the whaler in our community, and so they would go out into the water, kill the whale, and then people would have to jump in the water and tie the seal floats around them, sew up the mouth, kind of pull it in, tie up the tail, and then bring it inshore.
And now I remember talking to Sai about it in the previous episode about, being honored to have that whale meat back in the day to feed the community. And now, the community is still benefiting from whales in the area, but in form of tourism as opposed to, harvesting them. Is that something that, members in Chilocot find sacred and refreshing to still benefit from the whales?
Yeah, well, they're very respected still, and I know that Saya speaks quite a bit about just kind of like the protection and even just how they would organize boats and things nowadays. There are protocols in place on the tour boats. It's like obviously to where they can go or how close they can be to whales, and Tribal Parks is definitely doing more work to manage those kinds of activities out in the water.
Absolutely. Well, it is a beautiful place, right by the water, obviously, and the land is also quite beautiful too. And I definitely want to take some time to meet you outside and talk about the land and the residential school that used to be here and sort of the significance of rebuilding on this land. And I'm hoping you'll join me outside and we can talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely. For sure.
Okay, fantastic. And thank you, listener and viewers, for watching. We'll be right back and we'll meet you outside of the Best Western Tinwis Resort. Welcome to another episode of Our Native Land. You've joined us here in Tofino, British Columbia, more specifically the traditional territories of the Tloquit First Nation. In this special series of Our Native Land, we're focusing on the nation and their rich history. We've learned about their economy and their tourism sector, and now in this episode, we're going to learn more about their art and culture. We're going to be hanging out with a cedar hat basket weaver as well as a dream catcher maker. And we're also going to be meeting up with a father and daughter duo that both carve very well, and they're helping educate the younger generation. So join me on this very exciting journey of Our Native Land. Welcome back. Thank you for joining me here. We are at Nwayasan, which is formerly known as the Tofino Botanical Gardens. And Nwayasan means learning center, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to learn more about what's happening inside of this carving shed right here. We have Ivy along with her father Carl, and they are going to show us some of the beautiful work that they're doing here. I'm so excited. Let's go see where they are right now. Oh, what do we got here? Hey guys.
Hey.
How you doing? Oh, did you get one?
Yeah.
Hey, it's Carl, right?
Yeah.
Chadis, nice to meet you.
Hey.
It's Ivy.
Ivy.
Hi, nice
Hi.
to meet you. So we're just plucking some eagle feathers, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my God. Tell me how this ended up here.
There was two eagles that they were fighting in our village, and they crashed into a power line.
Yeah.
So this lady brought it over to us. But we used the down from the eagle, like when we do ceremonies, to bless the floor and like the community. So anyway, that's how these ended up here.
That's good. Well, at least it'll be good to put to
Sit
good use.
down.
Oh, that's it right there, right? That's so soft.
Yeah.
I can't, that's like softer than like a
It's
down
silk
goose.
almost.
Yeah, look at
Right.
that. That's amazing.
Anyways, here, have one.
Oh, you're going to give me one.
Yeah,
Oh my
and
God.
there-
Thank you so much.
There's
Oh,
another
look.
one. There's
Marcus
another
gets
one
one
over there.
too.
There's the
Thank you
first
guys.
three.
We really
Grab the other
appreciate
one.
this. Oh, wow. You got a lot going on here too, guys. I
Right.
really, is that yours over there, Ivy?
Yeah, so I'm
Can I have a look?
in the
Pass me the-
process
pass
of
me that one of those
making a
other ones,
header.
Ivy.
Oh, I'll pass you this one
Okay,
here.
there you go.
Okay. Oh, there you go. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. What's going on here?
Clackwood Biosphere Trust had hired me to make 3 different headers for them. This is the last one that I'm doing. It's actually going to be put up just around the corner beside the cafe there. They're just updating their signs. It's information about the island and the area that you're in and trying to educate people.
Nice. And I did want to talk to your dad, Carl. Carl, how you doing?
I'm good.
Good.
Really good.
We got a big canoe kind of right in front of us here, right?
Yes. I've been carving canoes for like 45 years with my brother, my older brother, and my younger brother. My younger brother's gone now. But my grandfather and my uncles were woodworking, like they were building boats. I don't know where that, see a little model right there?
Like this one right
Yeah,
here?
that's one of the models I was making for my nephew who owns this place, because his grandfather was one of the real good boat builders, eh? And I also really liked his woodworking. So this is what inspired me to make this for my nephew.
Okay. Wow.
So and then, but also like my grandfathers and my uncles, they were canoe builders, and my brother and I kept it alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, today out of all the Toronto Travel Council, we've been the only ones been really successful in doing this.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. And what sort of, again, this has been around for a while, this canoe in particular, but what sort of, for a lot of people that don't really understand the concept of how long it takes from harvesting the piece of wood to this point and finishing, how much work is it?
Back in the day, it probably took at least 4 months, but now we can do it in 2.
Welcome to another episode of Our Native Land. We are here on the road in beautiful Tofino, British Columbia. Today we're going to be featuring Nas Foods. Now you may recognize that name because Stevie has been on the show before, specifically episode 113 where we talked about his business. Now we're here in person to learn all about it and hopefully learn more about kelp harvesting. So let's go find Stevie. Hey, Stevie.
Chadis, my man.
Nice to finally meet
Good
you
to
in
see you,
person.
brother.
Hey, how you doing?
Very well, and yourself?
Good. I know I was just telling the viewers and listeners, we have chatted before, you've been on the show before, but to actually be here in person, and
In town.
in town. Is
Ready to explore, ready
exciting.
to learn, ready to do new things.
Exactly, Stevie. Stevie, before we get into how amazing some of the work you're doing here is, let's get to know a bit about you, your background, and who you are, how long you've been here in Tofino.
Yeah, okay. Well, my name's Stevie Dennis. I'm born and raised here in Tofino. I have been in and around the seafood industry and the water industry and anything around the ocean my whole life. My parents still live just down the way, so if you ever need a hand, I can always call on them, which is nice.
Yeah.
And I've been operating this business for about 4 years now. I've been a commercial fisherman, Coast Guard, surf instructor, a whole bunch of different things. So falling and working with fish just fell in naturally.
Yeah, and tell me a bit about the business here itself. You got a lot going on, and I notice you are right by the water here, so you have the opportunity to help process fish. Tell me a bit about what goes on here.
So here at this physical address, we have our storefront, obviously. And then in the back, we do our processing for a big portion of sport fish processing. Let's say if you came to Tofino midsummer and you wanted to go fishing with your family or your friends or bachelor party or something, you're gonna get off the boat and you're gonna probably have a couple 100 pounds of fish and you're not gonna know what to do.
Yeah.
So you come see me.
Yeah.
And I'll fillet it, bellies off, fins off, portion it, vacuum pack it, and flash freeze it down to -26. And then the clients can come back and pick it up at whatever date they've scheduled. So that's one aspect of what we do. And the other portion of what we do, of course, is our kelp products.
That's what I'm super interested about.
So we do our manufacturing and our processing. Here, you can hold that.
Thanks.
Here in-house. Currently, we are, let's say, looking to scale up production. I have a farm coming into play this year where we'll be going probably from a 30-ton allocation up to anywhere from 70 to 250 tons.
Wow, that's a lot.
So we're gonna need a whole new facility.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Now this is very exciting because I remember we were chatting a while back about, there's a lot of places to process fish all over the island, but something that makes you guys unique is harvesting this kelp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we do everything in-house. The idea is to keep as many of these jobs here, keep the people working. We go out, we harvest the product, we process it right here, we package it. My sister Natalie did all the artwork on all of these.
Wow.
And NOS actually means day, daylight, reality, and creator in my people's language.
Oh wow. And which
Nuchalnath, and I
Nuchalnath.
come from the Ahousaht First Nation.
Oh, fantastic.
So yeah, the kelp is a really interesting one because it ticks off every box of being sustainable and green, eco-friendly, sustainably harvested. It grows 10 to 18 centimeters a day in summer conditions. And it's, of course, delicious.
Yeah, can I try some?
Of course you can.
Awesome.
Of course you can.
Yeah, this is the smoked one, right?
You got your hand. Let me take a hand.
Here, there you
I don't
go.
have a spoon, sorry.
Okay, it's okay. We'll try that. Okay. I'm expecting a smoky
Oh, yeah.
flavor out of this,
This is
right?
the most popular one. This is the smoked kelp.
Oh yeah.
So why people like smoked salmon?
The
You know,
smoke flavor,
They're
right?
gonna just love smoked kelp.
What would you put this on?
I would like to say that I cook a lot, but I actually live a very traditional lifestyle. I work, make sure everything is taken care of, and my wife does 98% of it all.
Okay, so what would
she
put
puts
it
it on everything.
Yeah.
Eggs, marinades, pastas, rice bowls, rice, soups, all sorts of stuff. Now, if you go into the creative side of things, you could put it on a Caesar rim.
Okay.
Mix it with some peppers.
Yeah.
Another business in town here orders this in bulk, and they use it as a bonito flake replacement.
Okay.
So making a dashi broth, or if you're making chowders, you can even go as far to start using this stuff for making ice creams because it's a thickening agent, the gelatin inside.
That's exciting.
There's a lot of different ways you could use it.
Yeah, I can really picture that for sure. Okay, so this is amazing, but I really want to find out how it gets from the ocean into this jar. Could we go figure that out?
Yeah, of course. Let's go for a rip.
Okay, let's do it. Don't go anywhere. This is going to be really exciting. We'll be right back.